People with disabilities were often excluded from schools, housing, and public spaces. Discrimination was legal. Employers could refuse to hire someone simply because of a disability. Businesses could deny service or entry to disabled individuals without consequence. A friend and I were refused entrance to a nightclub in the 70s because she was in a wheelchair. No curb cuts on sidewalks, making navigation by wheelchair nearly impossible. Buildings did not have ramps or elevators, forcing people to crawl or be carried. Public transportation was largely inaccessible, and wheelchair users often had to abandon their chairs to board buses. No braille menus, signs, or documents were available in most public places. People who were blind or visually impaired had to rely on others to read sensitive materials like bank statements or medical records. There was no parking dedicated to the disabled, making it necessary for people to be pushed in manual wheelchairs or not go at all. Deaf individuals had limited access to interpreters or captioning, making phone calls and media inaccessible. For decades, individuals with disabilities were denied equal access to education, employment, transportation, and they faced systemic discrimination and physical barriers that marginalized them from full participation in society. The turning point came with two landmark legal protections, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, of 1990. Together, these laws had dramatically improved the daily lives of millions of disabled Americans, making equality not just a principle, but a reality. Section 504 was the first federal civil rights law to prohibit discrimination based on disability. It set the precedent for treating disability rights as civil rights. The law applies to any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance, including public schools, universities, and transportation systems. While enforcement was slow at first, Section 504 laid essential groundwork by requiring reasonable educational accommodations, such as modified testing formats or assistive technologies, mandate accessibility in public institutions that receive federal funds, shaping public consciousness about disability as a civil rights issue, not a medical problem. Without Section 504, there would be no legal basis for later breakthroughs. It became the blueprint for broader protections under the ADA.